नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया। आई एम JVN प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर धर्मेंद्र आहूजा, डायरेक्टर फैकल्टी ऑफ फार्मास्यूटिकल साइंस, ज्योति विद्यापीठ, वुमेन्स यूनिवर्सिटी जयपुर। And today my topic is cephalosporin. We will study, the subject is pharmacology and the topic name is cephalosporins. So students, as we are in previous session we were studying the beta lactam antibiotics. So cephalosporins are also among those beta lactam antibiotics only, and these cephalosporins actually are among the category of beta lactam antibiotics. So first we will see their classification. As we have seen in introduction, these are among the category of beta lactam antibiotics. Now we will see classification. So actually, as per the invention chronology, they have been divided in first generation, second generation, third generation and fourth generation. This is as per their invention chronology, means when first generation were invented first, second generation were invented later. At present the fourth generation is running, so whatever the cephalosporin being invented, those are coming under fourth generation right now. So we will see the classification. First generation cephalosporins are like cephalexin, cefadroxil, cefazolin, cephalexin, cefadroxil and cefazolin. Okay. Then second generation cephalosporin are cefuroxime, cefprozil, cefaclor, cefuroxime, cefprozil, cefaclor. Then third generation cephalosporins are ceftriaxone, cefotaxime, cefexime, ceftriaxone, cefotaxime, cefexime, ceftazidime. These all are third generation cephalosporin. Then fourth generation cefpirome, cefapime. These are fourth generation cephalosporin. Among them, few are parenteral and few are oral in all these categories, which you can further have a look on. So this was the classification. Now after the classification we will go on mechanism of action. So what is the mechanism of action of cephalosporins? The mechanism of action is similar, like they also inhibit the cell wall synthesis by inhibiting the transpeptidase, which inhibit the N-acetylglutamic acid and N-acetylglucosamine and N-acetylmuramic acid cross-linking. Once again I will see the mechanism. Cephalosporin inhibits the cell wall synthesis of microorganism by inhibiting the transpeptidase enzyme, which is responsible for cross-linking of N-acetylglucosamine and N-acetylmuramic acid in the cell wall. So cell wall synthesis of the microorganism gets affected. It is similar to penicillin, but only the binding site is different. In penicillins they were binding to particular penicillin binding sites, and here in cephalosporin their binding site is different, but if you will see, the mechanism is almost similar to penicillins. After that we will see their spectrum. So students, these cephalosporin first generations were effective against gram positive only. After that they were effective against certain gram negative, but first generation cephalosporins were narrow spectrum cephalosporin. After that the second generation, third generation, and this fourth generation are extended spectrum cephalosporin, and these are effective against gram positive and gram negative both. So the second generation, third generation and fourth generation cephalosporin are broad spectrum cephalosporin. Actually, if we will say first generation cephalosporins are narrow spectrum, they are effective against lesser number of organisms, mainly against gram positive organism. After that, second generation cephalosporin effective against gram positive and gram negative, but to a certain extent only. Third generation, they are effective against gram positive, gram negative, a number of gram positive and number of gram negative organisms. So these are called extended spectrum cephalosporin. And fourth generation are having more higher spectrum than even third generation against gram positive and gram negative organisms. So students, I told you that gram positive and gram negative and broad spectrum, it means it is these drugs are covering all the spectrum which we studied in the penicillin. So it is covering all the gram positive organisms and all the gram negative organisms. So uses will be against gram positive infections as well as against gram negative infections. So you can simply mention all the microorganisms which I just explained you in the previous semester or previous session in penicillins, and you can mention all the uses accordingly also. Additionally, in cephalosporins you can mention the uses for gram negative organisms also. So these gram negative uses we will see in the upcoming chapter, aminoglycoside. So here what you can say, you can write their spectrum, and whatever uses you have studied in penicillin, you can write all the uses and spectrum, and whatever uses you will study in aminoglycoside, which we will take in next session, you can write all the uses and spectrum in cephalosporins. So student, we will just recap what we have started cephalosporin. First we have seen their classification. Now we are seeing their spectrum. So spectrum, as newer are coming, spectrum is increasing. First generation was having narrow, then second was having bit higher, third was having more higher, and fourth was having very high spectrum. So accordingly uses also varies, but at present this third generation and fourth generation cephalosporins or second generation cephalosporins are mainly being used. So these are broad spectrum antibiotics. So when these are broad spectrum, so they will cover gram positive as well as gram negative. So you can mention all the spectrum and uses which you have studied in penicillin, because those were effective against particularly gram positive. Now you can also add on the gram negative spectrum and uses which you will study in aminoglycoside. So, or summarizingly, you can mention their classification, their hierarchy, their spectrum of these cephalosporins. Now we will go to harmful effect. Students, as these are broad spectrum antibiotics, so certain harmful effects are there. One is superinfection. Whenever a patient is treated with this broad spectrum cephalosporin, as they kill the intestinal flora, so due to killing of this intestinal flora, other infectious organisms are prone to our body, and that due to that the infection cause, that is called as superinfection. So superinfection is the harmful effect with these second, third and fourth generation cephalosporin. One more harmful effect is bleeding. When we will give this third generation cephalosporin, particularly this ceftazidime and cefoperazone, these kill at very high level the intestinal flora organism, and as you know, this intestinal flora organism are responsible for synthesis of vitamin K. So when they kill this intestinal flora, so vitamin K synthesis does not takes place, and so that the bleeding clotting mechanism gets affected, and patient gets vitamin K deficiency, and clotting gets affected. So whenever we are giving this cefoperazone and ceftazidime, with that vitamin K supplement is also given. So students, in this session we have understood the concept. Concept was what? Classification, mechanism same to penicillins, then spectrum, penicillin plus aminoglycoside spectrum, then uses, penicillin plus aminoglycoside uses. Then we have seen some harmful effects. Those are very common with broad spectrum antibiotics. So this was about cephalosporins. Students, I hope you have understood this session. This session is powered by Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University Digital Version 2. And if you have any query related to this session, you can mention here in the comment box, and I will surely resolve your query. So thank you students. Thank you for listening.